Hello friends, welcome back. In previous lecture, we have discussed about the reactions that are the alkylation and the acylation of the monosaccharide, and also what are the glycoside and the formation of glycosidic linkage that we have seen. And in this lecture, we are going to start the anomeric effect and the mutarotation. So let's start with the anomeric effect. So what is the anomeric effect, or what are the anomeric carbons? Suppose we have a sugar molecule, that is the, if we take glucose molecule, and as we know in the glucose molecule there are six number of carbon. The first carbon is a aldehydic carbon. Okay, so there is a carbonyl carbon of the aldehydic group, and after the aldehyde there are five chiral carbons which contains the hydroxyl group. Okay, so the C5OH, that is the fifth number of carbon containing OH group, is the lone pair of this OH can be attacked on the this aldehydic carbonyl carbon, and after the attack of this OH there is a formation of ring, that is the either it is a pyranose or a furanose. If this six member ring is formed, then it is called the pyranose. If there is a five member ring, then it is called the furanose. So if we take the glucose molecule, then there is a formation of the pyranose. That means after the attack of this OH over this aldehydic carbon, there is a formation of ring, and that ring is called as a hemiacetal. So why it is called the hemiacetal, not the acetal? Because after the formation of this ring, there is a one OH and the one OR group attached to this carbon atom, that is a anomeric carbon atom. Therefore this called as a hemiacetal. So when a pyranose or a furanose ring closes, the hemiacetal carbon atom is converted from a flat carbonyl group to an asymmetric carbon. That means initially the first number of carbon, this is the carbonyl carbon, but after the formation of hemiacetal there is a formation of a ring, and in which this carbon, which is initially the carbonyl carbon, is converted to the asymmetric carbon atom, and this carbon atom contains one OH group and another ring which is containing the one oxygen in this ring. Therefore it is called the hemiacetal. So the depending on the attack of this OH group on the carbonyl carbon, there are two possibility of attack, either from the upside or the downside. So there are the two types of orientation of the hemiacetal OH group gives the diastereomeric products called as the anomer, and the hemiacetal or the acetal carbon atom is called the anomeric carbon atom. So here we write, when the pyranose or a furanose ring closes, the hemiacetal carbon is converted from the flat carbonyl carbon to an asymmetric carbon, depending on which phase of the protonated carbonyl group that attacked the hemiacetal OH group can be directed either the upside or a downside. So these two orientation of the hemiacetal OH group gives the diastereomeric products called as the anomers, and the hemiacetal or a acetal carbon atom is called the anomeric carbon. So the preference of certain substituents bonded to the anomeric carbon for the axial position is called the anomeric effect. Ano is the Greek for the upper, thus the anomers differ in the configuration at the uppermost asymmetric carbon, and the anomeric carbon is the only carbon in the molecule that is bonded to the two oxygen atom. The anomer with the anomeric OH, if it is a downward, that is the axial, is called the alpha anomer, and the one with the anomeric OH group is a upside or a equatorial, then it is called the beta anomer. That means the anomers are the two types depending on the attack of this OH on the Carbonyl carbon, if it is the upside, then it is called as a equatorial OH. Then this is the beta ionomer. If it is the downside OH, that is the axial to this primary alcohol, then it is a alpha ionomer. So this is the anomeric effect. See the structures. This is the open chain form of glucose. Okay. So here we just write the structural arrangement somewhat different than the Fischer projection. Here this is the aldehydic, that is the first number of carbon. This is the second number of carbon, the OH on the right hand side. Therefore this is the D-glucose. Then here it is a third carbon atom, fourth and fifth carbon atom. So this fifth C5 carbon containing this OH and this hydrogen. Okay. And here it is a sixth number of carbon atom which contain this OH. This is the CH2OH. So the fifth number of OH, this oxygen, the lone pair over this oxygen is attacked over this carbon. So either it is a upside or it is a downward side. So there are the two products. Okay. So if this attack is a bottom side, then there is a formation of alpha ionomer, and this carbon atom is called this carbon atom is a anomeric carbon. So this is the hemiacetal. So why it is called the hemiacetal? Because this carbon contain this OH and also this OH. That means one OH group and one OR group is present over this carbon atom. Therefore this is called the hemiacetal, and this OH is axial to this CH2OH. Therefore this is called this OH is trans to this CH2OH. Therefore this is called the alpha ionomer. This OH is axial, then it is alpha ionomer. And here the structure, the name for the structure is the ethyl alpha D glucopyranose. So this is the open chain form and this is the alpha ionomer. And here it is a beta D glucopyranose. This form OH is a cis to this CH2OH. Therefore this is the beta, or you can see here it is a equatorial. Therefore this is the beta ionomer of this sugar molecule. Okay. So these are the ionomers. So what are the ionomers? After the attack of this C5OH to this aldehydic carbon, there is a formation of hemiacetal ring, that is either it is a pyranose or a furanose depending on the structure. Here we take a 6 member, therefore it is a pyranose ring. This pyranose hemiacetal, and it is a there are the attack can be possible either the upside or a downside. Therefore we got two types of a product. If the form OH is axial to the CH2OH, then it is called, or a trans to the CH2OH, then it is called the alpha ionomer. And if the form OH is the equatorial or a cis to the CH2OH group, then it is called the beta ionomer. So this is the overall about the anomeric effect. And in the fructose, the alpha ionomer has the anomeric OH group down or a trans to the terminal CH2OH group, while the beta ionomer has it up, that is the cis to the terminal CH2OH group. Here you can see the structure. This is the fructose and this is the trans. This OH is trans to the CH2OH. Therefore here we write the alpha D-fructofuranose, and it is a beta D-fructofuranose. This is cis to the CH2OH in this molecule. This trans, therefore this is the alpha and this is the beta ionomers. So this is overall about the anomeric effect, and this carbon is called the anomeric carbon. So let's start the mutarotation. Mutarotation is again very important topic. So what is the mutarotation? Normally the D plus glucose has a melting point 146 degrees Celsius. However, when the D plus glucose is crystallized by the evaporating an aqueous solution kept above the 98 degrees Celsius, a second form of D plus glucose with a melting point of 150 degrees Celsius can be obtained when the optical rotation of these two forms are measured. They are found to be the significantly different. But when an aqueous solution of the either form is allowed to stand, its rotation changes. The specific rotation the specific rotation of one form decreases and the other increases until both solution shows the same value. For example, a solution of alpha D plus glucose, the melting point is a 146 degrees Celsius. The specific rotation gradually decreases from an initial value of plus 112.2 degree to plus 52.7 degree, while the beta D glucose, the melting point for the beta D glucose is a 150 degree Celsius. The specific rotation gradually increases from the initial value of plus 18.7 degree to plus 52.7 degree. The three forms of glucose each reach equilibrium concentration with the specific rotation of plus 52.7 degree. So this change, that is a mutation in the specific rotation towards the equilibrium, is called the mutarotation. In short, suppose if we take the molecule alpha glucose, okay, so the and we take the specific rotation of this alpha glucose is a plus. Initially the optical rotation of this alpha glucose is the plus 112.2 degrees, okay, and the beta glucose have the optical rotation is a plus 18.7 degree. And if we add the water to the alpha glucose, then the specific rotation is changes to 52.7 degree. That means initially the optical rotation for the alpha glucose is the 112.2. Okay, the plus means the clockwise rotation. Okay, and after the addition with the water, then it changes to 112.2 to 52.7 degree. Similarly, the beta glucose, initially the optical rotation for the beta glucose is a 18.7 degree Celsius, but after the addition of water, the specific rotation for this beta glucose plus water is the 52.7 degree. That means when we add water to the alpha or a beta glucose, then the specific rotation is the same, that is the 52.7, or either we add the we take the solution of the alpha glucose plus beta glucose plus water, then it is also shows the optical rotation is a 52.7. That means if alpha and beta adds in a water, then if we take the optical rotation, it will be the plus 52.7. That means all the three values after the addition of water or a mixture of these three molecules, that is the alpha D glucose, then the beta D glucose, and if we take a solution of these two, this mixture plus water, then it shows the specific rotation is the 52.7. 7. So these changes in the specific rotation towards the equilibrium is called the muta rotation. So you can see here, this is the structure for glucose. This is the alpha anomer, this OH, and these are the trans, therefore this is the alpha anomer. And if we crystallize below the 98 degree Celsius this structure, and the melting point for this structure is the 146, and we take the specific rotation, then it shows the plus 112.2 degree. And if we add water to this alpha anomer, and then we check after the addition of water, there is a ring opening and we got the open chain form. Okay, after the hydrolysis there is a ring opening take place and we got this open chain form. And after the ring opening, if we take the specific rotation, then the value it gives the plus 52.7 degree Celsius. Okay, and here it is a beta D-glucopyranose, that is the beta anomer, and the melting point for this beta anomer is a 150 degree Celsius, and the optical rotation is a plus 18.7 degree. Okay, initially the optical rotation is a 18.7 degree, but if we add water to this beta D-glucopyranose, then there is also the hydrolysis take place and there is a formation of ring opening. There is this ring is can be open, and we take the optical rotation, then it gives the 52.7 degree. That means the alpha anomer and beta anomer after the hydrolysis gives the same optical rotation. And again, after the formation of this open chain, there is a again the it can form the acetal or a hemiacetals like a alpha anomer and the beta anomer. That means all these gives the same optical rotation value, that is the 52.7 degree Celsius, and this change in the optical rotation is called the muta rotation. I hope you understand. Thank you for watching.